Welcome to Corrective Consciousness episode 103, the podcast where we explore the inanity of pop culture. I am your host of vysethebold, and this is...
Lotus Prince.
And Dracologist.
Hey.
I don't have anything witty to say.
That's okay, neither do I.
We can debate on whether it's inanity or innatity.
No, you misspelled insanity. That's your problem.
I thought it was
where we explore the insanity of pop culture.
Yeah, that we were wrong the whole time.
So, anyway, our first thing that we want to talk about, of course, is we only have one more week after this on both channels. So if you are listening to this on Lotus's channel, please go over to the Corrective Consciousness YouTube page, where you can subscribe and click that bell.
I quit.
Please stop. Please.
Yeah. By the way, fun fact, everybody, I'm not going to be on the podcast ever again because this is bullshit.
Now all
like,
of the bells
this is
have
like
been
when
unclicked.
the doll of that Dracologist looked on him. Do not ever do that again.
But seriously, we have one more week where we will be simultaneously releasing. So please do follow the link in Lotus's show notes right below the video here in order to make it over, in order to fully migrate. We have a lot of you now, but we still want to have the whole crowd that always watches and comments. And while you're there, please comment on the new page rather than Lotus's, because we want to get everybody accustomed to the new digs, as it were. Because we want to foster our own corrective consciousness social atmosphere. We'll probably even do a Discord at some point as well. So I'm very much looking forward to the future here. But first we need to have everybody come on over. So please do. We have one more week, and then we'll do some trailers and things like that for the this week's episodes moving forward. But really should get on over.
By we mean Lotus.
Yes. So anyway,
oh yeah,
Lotus hasn't even subscribed to the Corrective Consciousness YouTube page, has he?
I mean, I manage the page, so like, I'm already there.
Yeah, but how will you know when you have posted something?
That's a good question. I should subscribe and ring that bell. And hate myself every goddamn time I say that.
Have you subscribed on the new page yet?
Already
Jeez, way to put us both on the spot, Vice.
Been there, done that.
Awesome. Well, I know that we're already getting a lot of responses on here. In fact, we have quite a few responses to various things we've talked about. So I'm really excited that everybody's getting into it now. It seems like the new format's working for everybody. Definitely let us know. Give us some feedback on that. But I think it's working out great. And having said that, this week we are discussing our let me see how exactly we worded this here. The what movie or game world you would like to or hate to live in. I mean, first off, I know there are a lot of ones that hate. I'm interested in the love.
That's the thing. Like, almost every video game world that exists is like awful to live in. Like the only ones that I would like to live in are the supremely boring ones, like games that are intentionally made for you to just kind of chill out for a while. So this isn't even necessarily boring, but I mean like non-fantastical. Like, let me live in Harvest Moon. Harvest Moon is just the real world. I don't even care about living
cows.
No, I mean I don't even have to live on a farm. Just Harvest Moon exists like without crazy monsters trying to kill you. It's just like the worlds. There you go. Like, give me something that's not terrifying when I leave my house. You know, like, I don't want bandits jumping me. I don't want fucking fire-breathing dragons and electric worms like in Pokemon. Anything that could just murder me immediately. Let me just have, like... ironically, one of the things Dracologists would hate would be a world I would like. Would be like those those visual novel dating sims, because the world is typically just mundane. Fine with me.
Wow, Lotus, do you like the cupcake you made for me?
Oh, that, wow. We're going back.
I made for you?
Yeah, we're going way back.
But anyway, I actually think, I know some people will be disagreeing with me because there's certainly danger in this world, and also, like, you know, an upcoming apocalyptic event that you have to foil, I guess. But
Majora's Mask.
Well, no, it's not quite that.
The whole world
bad.
is bleak.
No, you wouldn't want to live in the Majora's Mask world, but at all. In fact, we could talk about that one in a bit.
The place is called Termina.
Yeah. But I really like the Mass Effect universe. Despite the fact that there is, a force going to destroy the galaxy, looming. I love the world that they created, and I like all the different races that they created. And it's not a perfect world, but there's some really cool things about it. And I really like the psionic powers that people have in it, and I think it would be cool to interact with a lot of the alien types. So I really think that that would be a cool world to live in. As much as, a lot of it could suck, it has its realistic parts in it, its seedy underbelly and all that stuff, and there are certainly
the
races.
real world has that too, though.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it would be cool. I just think.
I think, like, what I wanted to say, that I know people might be this that unpopular, but, like, to me, Mass Effect is incredibly beige.
What's incredibly beige?
Mass Effect.
Oh, I don't think it is. I like the various races, and I think there's a lot of flavor to it. I love those games. I have
flavor, really, but oh well.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the whole point of it.
If you want to, it's okay.
That's where I want to live, man.
Yeah. I mean, there are a bunch of different planets anyway, so, like, you could always planet hop if you have the ability.
Exactly. Now, basically, any horror game is someplace you don't want to be. Obviously.
Well, that depends, because, like,
okay,
Resident Evil.
I'm interested.
No, fuck you. Like, it's like an apocalyptic zombie event, but, like,
you don't want to be in Silent Hill. I mean, your entire consciousness is reflected in the town.
No, but that's actually kind of where I was gonna go, though. Like, Silent Hill and Fatal Frame, stay away from those particular locations, and you're good. Silent Hill, don't go to the town that no one exists in. Okay, fine, I'll live in my house. Fatal Frame, don't go to Japan and enter the Himuro Mansion. Okay, I won't. Problem solved.
The problem with that
here's the issue with those.
You're kind of removing the challenge from the whole concept.
No, I know, but he said what world? Like,
here's the issue with this. If those locations can exist in that world, they can exist other places.
Yeah, theoretically, there might be other cursed places with ghosts or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of like saying, well, like, if a ghost exists here, if a ghost exists, then we prove all of the existence of afterlife. You know what I mean? Like,
no, that's true, but, like, with Fatal Frame in particular, the places are haunted because of, like, horrible curses that happened decades ago or whatever. So, like, yes, they could be in other places, but, like, fine, I won't go to the creepy house down the street, like the one that all the kids are afraid of. Like, I'll just stay away. Like,
it's not so bad.
Yeah, exactly. I'll leave well enough alone. Even in the original Fatal Frame, you shouldn't have gone in there, but, like, your brother did some investigating or whatever, disappeared, and you're like, I gotta find my brother. Like, you never even wanted to go there.
Yeah, you just do the sensible thing.
It's like in real life, real life isn't so bad. I don't go to Camden.
Jesus. No, for real though, it's like those horror movies that make fun of themselves, where, like, the door opens slowly and you hear the voice and you're like, well, obviously I'm not going in there. I'm gonna fucking die, and then, like, the whole thing is just over. It's like that. I forgot which stand-up comedian talked about this, but it was like the movie Poltergeist, where like the screen gets all staticky. It's just like, turn the TV the fuck off and leave the room. Like, I'm not staying around for this.
That's the kind of situation where if you pulled the plug, it would still...
Actually...
Poltergeist, the whole house is just done, but, like, but you know what I mean.
There was a very good Eddie Murphy sketch about this, like, oh, honey, look at this house, this is what a wonderful place. They go, get out. Too bad we can't live here.
Oh, that's right, yeah, that was Eddie Murphy, wasn't it? Yeah, like, guess I'm not living in this house that's obviously haunted. Like, there are some ghosts that follow you around personally, but if it's a haunted house, and it's like, man, just don't...
Haunted house is a haunted house, a haunted person.
Yeah, stay away from the haunted house. Like, what do you think?
Lotus, what would you do if some... Is it terrified? This is scholarly person would come up to you to ask about some strange ball he found, a strange orb he found.
Oh, like if this were a world where that would actually like matter, like could it be haunted or whatever? I'd be like, I don't know, find an expert.
Yeah, next day
Lotus would not be the person that would be solving this mystery.
Oh, are you kidding me? Yeah.
No, next day they would find Lotus' body is boiled and his head split open.
Well, yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, Fatal Frame does that, too, where it's like, I have these weird photographs. Could you do some research for me? Like, okay, I guess. And, like, in Fatal Frame 3, I think the photographs themselves had some issue with them. So, like, now the guy doing the extra work is getting involved, and it's just like, man, no. Like, I would just be like, I don't know, man, take it to a library or something.
So, I also believe that, like, even if there's some opposition in it, like, a sense of adventure is actually worth having. So,
sure.
I don't necessarily think that having a world where there are bad guys is necessarily an issue. Like, I would love to live in the world of, like, Rocket Knight Adventures, for instance. Even though there are, like, evil pigs around, I mean, having that, being able to bounce around... With a jetpack, yeah, exactly, would be a lot of fun.
Well, the thing is, like, yeah, in the real world, there are bad guys, but I'm talking about, like, I don't want to live in Dungeons and Dragons because you walk out 5 fucking feet and like a beholder just like curses you or something. It's like there's nothing you can do. Like it's one thing if there's like a punk on the street, like we have those,
or like, or like chance to find encounter considerably more like live in caves.
Yeah, like I don't want to walk down the block. Yeah, like I don't want to walk down the block in Fallout and run into like a death claw. It's like I can't fight that.
So I think Fallout actually has some like at least some normalcy to it. Yeah. So it's not as bad as it could be because it's not happening during the apocalypse. It's after the apocalypse, right?
Yeah, and a lot of it is if you go out the safety of your vault. Yeah.
And every every nuclear weapon was run on not plutonium, but magic fairy powder, so it caused mutation instead of leaving the entire planet in radiation that never goes away.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, but like there is
we have anti-rad medication that just cures radiation.
Yeah, which is hilarious.
But also the rebuilding of society. Is my point. One of the major themes of the series is that the world is being rebuilt with new factions of society where people are getting together and learning to be safe and happy in some ways.
Although speaking of what Dracologist said, though, like one thing that does kind of bug me though is inconsistencies between story and gameplay, where like Final Fantasy and Fallout, it's like, oh no, he's afflicted by this horrible thing. I hope we can cure this stuff, and I hope this person doesn't die in the story. And in Fallout, oh my god, there are these mutants. I don't know, man, but like during gameplay, it's like you use a potion and it's like full health, or like you use an anti-rad hypo and it's like I'm cured of radiation. Don't worry, I won't be a mutant. So it's like, what are we talking about here? Oh no, this person died. Phoenix down, but how? But it's not in a battle screen, so they're actually dead.
I always think that Phoenix down was never to resurrect the dead, but it's basically when in Final Fantasy,
like
unconscious or knocked out.
That could be, but it's still kind of funny.
Because that in this way it makes more sense and less gibberish.
Yeah, less like outright bullshit. Like, why don't you just use the Phoenix down arrows?
There are also worlds that are fucking terrible that I wouldn't want to be a part of, like especially Doom and any Doom world, but Doom 2016 especially, and its sequel that's coming out. Like, I wouldn't want to be part of like any version of Earth where it's being attacked in the process of being attacked by hell.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Doom 1 was like your space station because you like treaded where you shouldn't have. But Doom 2, no, Earth is done, like all of it.
Actually,
yeah, and it's because
one of the
because
story
of
parts
all.
is that the Doom Marine actually saved the population in one of the sort of milestones of the levels. I think after destruction of all, it says that you managed to rescue the population of Earth.
Yeah, fair enough, but Earth's still done.
What I think is really interesting about that universe is it's all because of like man's hubris. Like not only does the world suck because it's been invaded, but it's been invaded because humans suck and made it that way. Humans, like corporations took over the Earth and decided, no, the only way to continue to survive is to invade hell and try to profit off of it.
Yeah. And even in classic Doom, when they weren't doing that, they just opened a portal to hell for science, and it happened anyway.
Pretty much.
Well, that's a little bit more innocent, right?
Because it is, but like it's still humans' fault.
Yeah, but there's an innocence to that. There's like, you know, that's science trying to make an advancement. I think that's okay.
Well, yeah, it's like Half-Life 2, where it's like, whoops, like the Combine happened, or not? Yeah, the Combine.
Actually, well, the Combine actually is like Half-Life world is pretty sucks well because if you read the cliff notes on the 3rd episode, like we're fucked.
Yeah.
And also the future in Chrono
Doom,
Trigger.
Like
jeez.
On Doom on 1 and 2, like the whole thing about like, oh, it's just innocent things. Like, yeah, the BFG weapon was completely innocent too. Like that was developed there. Like, the UAC is a military contractor for corporation.
Yes.
So
actually,
the future of Chrono Trigger is also fucking awful.
Yeah, a lot of
like so that's post-apocalyptic, I would say too, but like it also is like it's not like Fallout where like things are healing. Like you know what I mean? Like the world of Fallout is trying to recover from what happened. Like the future in Chrono Trigger is done. Like there's nothing to look forward to.
Speaking of the future being done, Dark Souls, where like
like
all the cool stuff, like the Age of Heroes and Darkness, like all that has happened. Yeah, so everything, like to even be in Lordran, you must be undead. So everything is dead or dying. Demon Souls is actually the better universe because it's the movie The Mist. You know, the fog rolled in and demons happens. Can you do anything about this? But in Dark Souls, it's already been done. You're just waiting to die.
Actually, like the whole shtick of Dark Souls is that it's a cycle of agony. Will you continue to endure it, or will you end it? That's it.
Yeah, not only that, but like even the linking of the first flame to create the Age of Fire, that was directly going against the natural order of things. So like even though you're in the Age of Fire, which is the quote good age, and everything still sucks, that isn't even the age you're supposed to be in right now. Like just it's even worse.
Speaking of, I'm in full Dark Souls mode because I finally beat Horizon Zero Dawn.
Hey.
I did want to bring that up.
So
now Horizon Zero Dawn has its moments. Like it is a recovering world. It's a post-apocalyptic, so it does have its shining moments. There also seems to be like the world is trying to get better. So that's not there's plenty of adventure to be had. And it's really not so bad. I mean, compared to a lot of
Horizon Zero Dawn reminds me of the movie Reign of Fire, where all this fantastical shit is happening and it's basically post-apocalyptic, but you have technology and aren't 100% sure of what to do with it.
So there's no fantastic. This is all technology based. It's not fantastical, but I get what you mean.
Yeah.
And now, it's post-apocalyptic, but the world isn't a shitscape. It's okay. It's healing.
Oh, actually, you know what? One of the worst shitscapes probably is. In the grand scheme of things, you could maybe do worse, although it's really fucking bad. But for a very localized few, it might be the worst. I have no mouth and I must scream. Are you aware of what that world is like?
I'm pretty sure we all would be dead, and there would be five Berks.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Also, rest in peace, Harlan Ellison. By the way,
or you would be living, on the moon in a cryogenic chamber.
Well, that was just for the game. The book did, or the store didn't go that far. But yeah, basically 5 people are underground being made immortal by the supercomputer and tortured for, it's been over a century and theoretically could go on forever. And on the surface, it's just like inaccessible radioactive hazard. It's basically like, it's almost like Metro. If you go on the surface, it's like you don't want to go on the surface.
Yeah.
The boy and his dog, right?
Oh yeah.
That movie. That I never read the book, but A Boy and His Dog, the movie, was pretty great.
I actually really liked it. I would be happy to read the book, but it's a shame. It's a shame he passed away. But he was up there.
Yeah, he was like
he had a good long
life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He also voiced M in the game.
Yep.
Yeah, I really you wouldn't want to live there.
Well,
No.
Obviously not. Like we don't. We really should find some sort of compromise between absolute shitholes and just absolute boredom. Is it?
Yeah, a world that's like okay. Yeah, I mean, like the Pokemon world is potentially terrifying, but people seem to live with it pretty well.
Not only that, but they like
capture stuff.
But they like it.
It doesn't seem to be that, like as much childish it looks, and I wouldn't mind the existence of of random little critters running around that is not the basic flora and fauna, because it would make life a little bit more interesting. Although I'm fairly sure I would have to slap children. Not stop. You don't battling it out on the streets here. Do it in
only in sanctioned tournaments.
So
because you will damage something in the city.
Yeah.
One of my friends. Oh, go ahead. Finish
I wanted to say, like, I'm fairly sure you two would enjoy like the Slime Rancher universe a little bit, because you can all you can do is chase around little blobby things with vacuum cleaner.
Slime Rancher. Slime Rancher. Yeah. Well, those kind of cheery worlds, I have no problem being in. Like Pokemon, like the humans seem to enjoy what they're doing there.
That's the thing. If you read into it, it's terrifying because it's like gargantuans are just walking around, but like
people know how to deal with it.
The world seems to function, so all right.
One of the things that I think one of the worlds I think would be pretty fun. I just had one pop into my head, like from when I was young. So back in high school, I had this discussion. I know this isn't a movie or a video game. It's actually based on a series of commercials.
Which one?
No, you want to be the Geico Caveman's universe?
It's along those lines.
Wait, what?
Wait, just hear me out.
Yeah.
I was having this discussion with my friend, and he's like, you know what would really suck? And I was like, what? And this came out of nowhere. He's like, what if you were in the Kraft macaroni and cheese world? It would be awful.
It would be stupid.
So there's that orange cheese everywhere you go. How stressful would that be? Like, it's all like splurting up, and Cheezosaurus Rex is there.
And
like,
everything everybody says ends with Oni. Like, I can't keep that up.
Sadly, that's a cultural gap for me. I don't know what is that.
You know what, Dracologist? Good. Like, honestly, you're fine. But
just imagine a world that is completely made out of macaroni and cheese, and everything's very orange.
It's just this cartoon. It's just this cartoon. Like, whoa! Look at this craziness. Like these commercials for kids. Yeah.
I know this is silly, but could we get actual universes or gameplays, not just this commercial animations? Like, I'm fairly sure that's a very tiny fragment of an actual world.
We need to establish lore for the Kraft macaroni and cheese universe.
It's part of some kind of like gladiatorial combat arena where everything's orange and
aftermath of the movie of what was it called? Rainy with the chance of meatballs.
Oh yeah, Cloudy with the chance of
meatballs. Yeah, that was based on a kid's book.
Yes, that the macaroni thing is the aftermath.
Oh no, we've gone too far. Damn you, meatballs!
But yeah, like that would just be a horrible, like, stressful place to live in.
Well, if you suddenly pop in there, well, probably. But if you live there, you probably would be accustomed to it.
Oh, wait a minute! I got a good one.
Go for it.
Baroque.
Oh,
fuck that universe.
You don't want to be in that.
What?
Baroque. It's a game on the PS2 and the Wii, but there was an earlier first-person version for the PS1 and Saturn that America never got. It's basically post-apocalyptic, but like, man, everything sucks, and the world is tiny, and the only thing you can really do is climb up the nerve tower or the neuro tower, depending on the translation. Everything you meet is fucked up. You know what my favorite part is, though? The Archangel, who, because Baroque is a roguelike. So you're going to go into the Neuro Tower and either get to the end and loop or die and try again loads of times. But what I thought was interesting was you always have the Archangel in front of the tower going like, you must climb the nerve tower and activate this thing. Or like, and if you die and come back, he'll be like, keep on at it. Like, this is a goal you must attain. And, but like after like your gajillionth time, like he starts to get more and more frustrated. And one of the lines that just really got me was, like, as you pass him, he talks again, and he goes, "Are you incapable of learning? You need to." I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like, he's actually getting mad at me. It was like it was.
Well,
like, this universe
Mr.
blows,
Archangel.
man.
I'm not a messenger of God. I'm a simple mortal that he seemingly
Right?
can't even do the dying part right.
Yeah, and by the way, I think the Archangel might have been voiced by Kyle Hebert, the on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, like that guy. He's done a lot of voice roles. I think Archangel's actually a really minor role, so it's like. That was Kyle Hebert? Wow. This is kind of funny.
I also wouldn't want to be in the Kirby world where something could swallow me and then, like, take my form and
yeah, but it's just Kirby.
Yeah, but, like, it's terrifying. Like,
yes, it is.
like,
Metroid?
it looks cute, but no.
Yeah, fuck Metroid. Yeah, that world sucks, too.
Yeah, no, I don't want that.
Or Axiom Verge, where everything is,
no.
Lovecraftian H.R. Giger horror.
Not actually. You actually have to play the game to understand what's going on in Axiom Verge. So
No, I mean, for what's going on, sure.
Like,
but,
not,
like, everything's beating and pulsing, and there's Giger-esque imagery there. It's like, no.
Actually, it has a couple of, like, you have to understand the story of the game to see why everything is that. I'm very sure the world you were in when it was in its prime.
Don't ruin anything, please.
Yeah, but either way, everything sucks. But either way, just to look at it, everything sucks.
Well, it's a post-apocalyptic world you landed in.
No, fine. It still sucks. I would not want to be there.
I would. I'm big on xenoarchaeology.
Oh, fair enough. Actually, Darkseid, the negative world of Darkseid, where everything just literally is H.R. Giger imagery.
Yeah, that actually you could have conversation with the locals there. Actually, and
you can, but fuck that place.
Well,
also, aren't the conversations? My memory's hazy, but aren't the conversations with the locals in like maybe Darkseid 2? Darkseid 1, I think you just go there and you're like, oh.
No, you had one conversation with one creature. I think two entities in the Dark World. One is a guard that basically tells you that I'm gonna lock you up and you're going to die there.
Oh wait, was that the woman with like the dull eyes with like the needle through her mouth, like that, like the one that was like literally a piece of Geiger art that's famous?
No, the librarian is Lee Tobler. The picture of Lee Tobler, which Giger made, is actually benign. Oh, she just tells you what to do. In the second game, you actually converse with various denizens of the Dark World.
Yeah, that I knew about, and they ask you like riddles and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know how to answer these.
I think one guy is this, like two guys speaking in the sort of this one lies, this one tells truth sort of game.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, by the way, you know what's funny about Darkseid is the main character Mike Dawson is modeled after. Yeah, he's the developer, and I think I don't know if he's still doing it, but he like teaches at a university, so like. By this point, anyone who's taking his class would never know he was the guy from Darkseid, but like, we know this, so it'd be really funny to just run into him. Like, you're the guy. Yeah.
He had these good sort of mementos about the game on the development. It's too bad that like Cyberdream actually made a couple of very interesting point-and-click games. Well, a few, like very few, but yeah, they were big on this the whole cosmic horror stuff.
Oh yeah.
Too bad that Darkseid didn't get the approval of H.R. Geiger, so they just basically bought a bunch of his artwork and worked it into the game. And the story is a little bit goosebumpsy, so...
Yeah, but it still looks beautiful. It's too bad, like, it's impossible to get him to run.
Yeah, I can't honestly think of any first-person shooter world that I would want to be in.
I would like to see Visit Rapture.
Maybe when it was in its prime, or do you mean like in the game BioShock when everything's going to shit?
In its prime and after the cleaning, like just seeing how the world looks without its denizens.
All right, with the Art Deco world and all that. Yeah,
there is a beauty to be had there for sure. The same goes for Colombia. Like the people suck, but the town is gorgeous.
I don't know. I'm a little bit afraid from heights.
Yeah, not to mention, considering where they are, if you suddenly went there right now, you'd probably have all sorts of problems, like breathing and stuff.
You also have to, travel from island to island with the rail system, on your hand.
That. Like, you didn't have any better way. You have islands that themselves are propelled, but, like, you have to, like, zip line everywhere. Are you serious right now?
I think that was a proper tram system, though, but, yeah, I'm not...
that's a good point, actually.
But video game suctions you to do today's sort of things automatically, but actually doing that leap of faith is kind of dangerous on my about just to get from down to the Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other worlds that might be tolerable or that might be, like, the absolute worst. I mean, I think the obvious one, we talked about this before we recorded, obviously, like, Warhammer would be, like, one of the worst ones.
Yeah, you don't want to be in
Warhammer. Best world to live in, Warhammer 40k. Worst place to live in, Warhammer 40k.
Yeah, right? Like, fuck all that.
If you know how to live in, and if you like me, you would probably enjoy it to some extent.
Yeah.
Not when something is eating your brain and is multiplying in your skull. No, that's probably not the best thing. But
by the way, this is kind of cheating because it's an adaptation of a manga, but it is a game. Berserk and Attack on Titan. Either of those.
No.
Fucking blow.
No. Oh, how about more movies here? I think the Fifth Element world is pretty awesome and action packed.
That is pretty rad from what I've seen.
It's basically a slightly more goofier, slightly more light-hearted version of Blade Runner.
Yeah. I would be okay with that. Like it's not perfect at all, but it's full of adventure.
Except if someone not doing the ritual for it, then we all going to die because of us.
Yeah, I mean,
dark force. Yeah.
I'm excluding like apocalyptic forces.
Don't worry, Bruce Willis will take care of it. It's fine.
I do I wanted to say that even if it's not movie, that the two most basic settings that exist: Marvel, DC. Living in Gotham or...
you would never want to live in the DC world.
Well, Gotham is a piece of shit, but outside of that, you could probably do better. Like, Superman's town and Flash's town are pretty rad. Marvel... New York City's the worst in Marvel.
Green Lantern's town got nuked.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, in the Death of Superman story, the Cyborg destroyed Keystone City.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's awful.
Speaking of, we brought up Resident Evil a million years ago, but Raccoon City got nuked.
Yep. Which game did that happen in? 5?
The end of 3.
End of 3, yeah.
Yeah, where Raccoon City became unsalvageable. So I think Umbrella itself, or maybe somebody contacted the government and they just fuck it, wipe the whole thing clean.
I mean, that's very logical.
Thinking about,
unfortunately, yeah.
Probably Pyro would say Transformers universe.
That would be very stressful.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me think of One Punch Man's universe, where like it's a normal town, but like every 10 minutes, like something blows up a building because there's some overpowered monster. Like with Transformers, like whoops, they're fighting. Like it's like a kaiju movie. Just like there goes that skyscraper. Sorry.
Yeah, like Power Rangers universe, when every time there is a brawl, the entire...
Yeah, and like Angel Grove gets like blown up. Like it gets to the point where it's like Dragon Ball Z, where you just ask the villain, like, "Can we please take this to an uninhabited area so we don't kill everyone around us?"
You know what I like? I think some of the worlds that like, I mean. At least with Power Rangers, there is an onus to deal with the situation. You know what I mean? Like, you have the ability to fight back.
With Godzilla, you kind of have hope for the best.
But, like, with Marvel's a little more a little cheerier. I think like there's bad shit that happens in Marvel, but like it's not as depressing as DC.
Yeah, and then Thanos comes around and
I was just gonna say,
yeah, but you have Darkseid in fucking DC. So
yeah, Darkseid is awful. I still remember how cool.
Darkseid,
yeah, I still remember how freaking cool it was
Doomsday.
in Justice League Unlimited, where Lex Luthor had merged with Brainiac, and then he got his ass kicked, and he's just obsessed with finding Brainiac again for that merge, and then he finally thinks he finds something, and it's Darkseid, who, like, when he shows up, the entire Legion of Doom is like, oh, fuck, what have we done? And then, like, Darkseid's like, well, you brought me out, so as a reward, I'll make your death super quick. And they're like, oh, shit. And, like the coolest moment, though, was when it goes back to the planet Apocalypse, where you see Darkseid's highest lieutenants ready to start this, like, half of his forces versus the other half war to who's going to run things. And then this beam just drops in, and Darkseid appears between both armies, and both armies just stop and immediately kneel to him. They're like, okay, never mind. Like, he is crazy. He was the best.
And he's a massive overload, but he's not that powerful, actually. He just...
What are you talking about? He has the anti-life equation.
He doesn't. He's just looking for it. It's
yeah,
he gets it. He gets it in Final Crisis. I don't know if you read that, but
oh, does he?
He finds it.
No, I never.
Yeah, he did get it at the very end of that Justice League too. Like, that was actually what dispelled him, where Luthor just produced it. He was like, oh, and then like he's out of the series, so it's like he may or may not be dead, but probably not.
And the other thing was, like, again, Thanos and Apocalypse from the X-Men series.
Yeah, X-Men Apocalypse is pretty scary.
Except when they made it in the movie, where he was an absolute dolt.
Yeah, well, no, I still love that X-Men animated series from, like, the 90s, where, like, the villains are really theatrical in that series. Like, I will destroy the X-Men and all that stuff. Apocalypse was having one of those speeches where he actually is holding his hand out, like, you will not stop Apocalypse. But, like, everybody's firing everything they can at him, and he's just posing and talking while being shot. It's like, oh, shit, like, this is not going to work. Well, and actually, speaking of which, that reminds me of Gantz. Not really a movie, but I forgot if I mentioned this on the podcast. Oh, was there? But I think I might have mentioned this on the podcast at one point. But there's this one, like, monster. It's like a 3-panel thing where she's just looking at you going like, ho, 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 and then she, like, disembowels herself, and then in the third panel, all of her guts are spilling out, and she's still just going like, ho, 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 and it's like, oh, shit, like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do about this.
Here's the thing about Gantz.
This is, like... Yes?
Here's the thing about Gantz. The aliens suck, but so do the humans. Like,
humans are garbage in that show or series.
Yeah, there are no good guys in this. Like,
although in Biomeat, the humans are real trash. Like, they're like, literally it's a cartoon, but like no one's like this. They're like cartoons. Like, people are bad. People are like, they're like the bullies in It. Bad. It's like, dude, come on. Like, but everyone sucks in Biomeat.
Yeah. Well, I think we should move on, because I think we thoroughly explored the topic, and I really would like to hear people's input on this. Like, just even pointing out to us what would really suck, or what would be kind of okay or fun.
Yeah.
Please do bring it up in the comments here. On the Corrective Consciousness YouTube channel.
And if you don't, we will send the Inquisition for you.
But no one
knows the Spanish one, the Emperor's Holy Inquisition. The one that is actually...
Oh, from Warhammer?
Yes.
I was going to say the Emperor.
The one planets into ashes for giggles.
Ugh.
Okay, for not giggles, but yeah, for reasons.
Yeah.
So I did want to have my weigh in real quick. I maintained my weight at 255. Now... you may think that may be a failure, but really it wasn't, because this was actually a really big deal for me. This morning I was afraid to weigh myself, because we went to one of those Brazilian steakhouses last night for like, my friend had a party where he invited us. And have you ever been to one of these places, either of you?
Nope.
I don't think Hungary have Brazilian steakhouses.
Okay.
I don't think we ever had any steakhouses.
So I'll relay what the concept is. So in a Brazilian steakhouse, it is kind of like a buffet, but the buffet comes to you.
Oh God, you're gonna make me hungry.
So what they do is they make all of these different meats on spits. You know, like these big, long metal, like swords almost.
Yeah, like almost like large kebabs.
Exactly. And they have all kinds of cuts of steak on it. Or there's also lamb, pork, chicken as well. All different cuts of meat on these big things. And what you do is you have a piece of cardboard, a circular disc that has a green side and a red side. If you turn it to green, the guys on spits will come to you and ask you whether you want the meat that they have. So they constantly will come around, and boy, can you overeat doing this. Like, it is, like, insane the amount of meat that you can end up with. And you can end up, like, really kind of feeling sick afterwards because, like, a lot of people, like, just have way too much. They kind of see it as a game, you know what I mean? And in past years, I kind of would overdo it. This year, I was very good about picking what I wanted and also waiting for the specific cuts of meat that I really wanted to try. Because I've been to this kind of thing before. So I knew that I would really like the lamb. So I actually declined several different things that look great in lieu of getting this. And by the time I got what I wanted, I was also full. And I was very moderate with my choices there. So that was last night. And I weighed myself this morning, and I stayed the same weight. So I'm very proud of myself in order to continue on here with my weight loss here, because I'm making good decisions even in special occasions like that. So I'm very happy with it. So we would like to then move on to fan responses from last week.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of these now. Some of these were in response to the discussion, and some were in response to the fan question. So I'll announce those as I see them. So first of all, the Kadet Jaina had said regarding the discussion of the White Whale games that we've been looking for. She had said, I don't have games I wish I played and now I can't get, but I have a million books like that. I spent several years of hunting John Carter, translated to Czech. Like the Czech Republic. In the end, I got it, and I'm so glad I have more books on my wish list. I will have to hunt for it a long time, but I'm ready for it.
I've always kind of thought about that because as bad as we can feel about not being able to get translations of like certain Japanese things, we have way more translations to English than a lot of other languages have from anything else. Yeah. We're extremely lucky in that like the world kind of caters to English as a second language. So and we just happen, to know English the best. So
yeah,
I think I've always thought about how difficult it must be, being a hardcore gamer and being Italian and not knowing any other language. Like, what are you gonna do? Like so many games are not available to you.
Internet will fail me now.
Yeah, no kidding. So Carrick52, this is in response to the fan question, what your favorite bow in a game. So Carrick, I believe this is something where, because I think none of us really knew about the Dragon's Dogma bow, so Carrick52 is explaining. The reason the Dragon Dogma bow is so crazy is because you can shoot multiple arrows at the same time incredibly fast. It's downright scary. So it's just like 1, 2, 3. So that's pretty ridiculous.
I really do want to play that game. It's on my list of Steam games to play.
Yeah, so. And the Kadet Jaina has another post. This is regarding favorite supporting character. I agree with the merchant from Resident Evil 4. He is great. At the moment, I cannot remember many interesting supports, but I'm sure I have dozens. Does Sam from Lord of the Rings count as support?
Yeah.
He's like the definitive support character.
Yeah.
Because damn, he was. I also like Vice. You'll probably like this one. Clarice from Fahrenheit 451.
Actually, never read it.
No kidding.
Yeah.
All right. I only read it relatively recently myself. From games, I would say this is more up my alley. Mr. Midnight, your cat from Franbo. He really does see it through a lot. Bozo from the Deponia trilogy. That one I don't know so well. And of course, Nagito from Danganronpa 2, the white-haired. I think he's like the guy who looks like the main character from 1. Right?
Yes, he's basically your best friend, but he's kind of creepy.
Okay. Also, favorite bows? None. I hate archers in games. They always mess me up. Away with all the bows. So, all right. Josh111888 says, I can't believe I forgot this one, but Krauser's bow from Resident Evil 4. It's always fun to use in mercenary mode. Yeah, you are not kidding. For support characters, who is this? Whatever. As for favorite support character,
sounds Hungarian.
Yeah, maybe, I guess. So what comes to mind would be Johnny Gat from the Saints Row series and Hoji from FWH's Shadow Warrior. And
those are good. Yeah.
As for bows, there's a bunch of Dracologist has a bunch of bows. So the painkiller stake gun said it was rather tricky because you have to calculate the drop off in the long distance. Very true. But yeah, if you aimed it right, then it's like, yeah. For bows, there's the Rambo bow and Soldat, because it's insta-kill everyone who doesn't wear armor, and you can fire explosive arrows and give passive health regen. In Shadow Warrior 2, there's a winch and a futuristic bow that's fun to peg enemies with. The Messiah rope bow from Might and Magic, because you can make your own ladders. I guess kind of like in Rise of the Tomb Raider. Turok, the tech bow.
I forgot about the
Turok tech bow. Yeah. A scoped high-tech winch bow that fires explosive arrows. Damn. Also the Skybane bow from Drakon, which dissipated or sucked air pressure out under flying enemies, causing them to plummet, which is fucking crazy. And then there's a million magic bows in Terraria I won't list. And finally,
do you have any other things to elaborate there, Dracologist, since that was your...
Let's see, like, what do you want to elaborate on? Like, just
I'm just wondering whether you have any flavor text for us.
I don't know. I played Dragon Order of the Flame. It was a good game. It's too bad it was buggy as hell. And yeah, it had a large variety of heavy kind of anti-air bows, like one that fired seeking arrows, the one that aforementioned basically made enemies fall down.
Yeah. And
Terraria had a couple of interesting bows, like one of the high tier bows is like, and it fires 5 arrows with increasing speed, like increasing fire rate, and if it hits, then it fires a second volley of phantasm projectiles that also fire in the same arc. Combine that with the same sort of ammunition, that it basically fired like anytime that arrow is fired, it fires a phantasm itself. So you can basically 4 times or triple or quadruple your fire rate.
Wow.
All right. I guess we have one more response from General Ledger. One of my favorite supporting characters is Reeve, the director of public works from Final Fantasy VII.
Oh yeah.
I felt he was the most heroic character in that game. He worked to dismantle the corruption of Shinra from within, obstructed many of Shinra's more callous plans. He was the one board member against the destruction of the slums and in favor of sending in search and rescue teams. He hid the party's loved ones from the Turks and led the evacuation of Midgard Endgame. I also have a soft spot for characters that return favors later in the game.
Yeah, I love that too.
Yeah, in Quest for Glory 3, the player can catch a thief and let the court punish him or show mercy. If you show him mercy, then the thief will later rescue you from a death trap. That's actually a required thing in King's Quest V, saving a rat from a cat, and then the rat will like nibble away your rope that ties your hands together, like when you're mandatorily captured by some street toughs.
In Horizon Zero Dawn, the end of the game is much easier if you complete the subquests, because your friends that you completed the subquests for will be there in the end to help you out.
Yeah,
the Grand Gathering syndrome.
Yeah, that happens in Mass Effect as well.
Mass Effect is the main core, is a mechanic, I think.
Sure. Yeah, and the last thing we'll do is we have time for one fan question. Sabrina Hengel asks, can you think of certain things in a game or games that one could see as bad game design, but is ignored anyway because it's more hilarious than an inconvenience? For example, some funny bug, like the rapier/crossbow that Fakafan mentioned on the podcast, like in Dark Souls, where you could have, like, one weapon serve the function of another because of, like, borks. Or glitching dead bodies in the Souls games, where they're bouncing all over the place and clipping in walls. My go-to answer for this one, it's almost cheating, is Goat Simulator, because the game developers themselves had said that unless bugs are, like, game-breaking or directly interfere with your ability to do something, they'll just leave them in because it's funnier. Like, they just come out and said that.
See, I'm right there with you with the Skate series and the glitches in that. The glitches are the game. I would go as far as to say.
There was one YouTuber who many years ago uploaded a bunch of those glitch videos of Skate 3.
So good.
My favorite video wasn't even because of what was in the video. It was just that the name of the video was "This Game is Patched," and he's just like borking everywhere. It was really funny.
I love glitchy physics. Like, especially, like, if it allows you to do all kinds of stuff where your, like, head turns around with your body, like,
oh yeah. Didn't one of the Assassin's Creeds do that, where, like, there was just unnatural, like, head movement or something?
I'm sure, probably Syndicate. Before Syndicate was patched,
that might have been the one. Yeah,
it was really bad.
That one.
Yeah, it was really bad, but that kind of thing doesn't exist anymore, I'm sure, in that game. But but I love
Ride to Hell. Ride to Hell's crashes were a bitch, but the other glitches were pretty funny to watch.
I like the ones in Fallout.
Except the point when the compressed sound suddenly sounded and everyone got
that was hilarious in retrospect. That was terrifying at the time.
I love the ones in Fallout. Like, I know that some people complain about this kind of stuff, but, like, I obviously don't like crashing, but, like, I love walking down, like, the wasteland, and all of a sudden, like, there's just, like, 3 things all glitched together in a ball rolling down in, like, some kind of tumbleweed formation. Just, like, what the fuck happened over there?
No, actually, you know what's a really good one? In Dark Souls, I first saw this at Luminaire's place, and I didn't realize that it was a consistent glitch that has never been patched, including in the remaster. But there's this one secret area in the game, like a secret level, called the Painted World of Ariamis. And Vice, I don't know if you've had the opportunity to see this yet. There's 2 dragons like this in the game. Have you ever been to the Valley of Drakes?
No, I am just I'm still right before the gargoyles. So
yeah, so you've been playing the game for like 90 minutes or 2 hours or something.
Yeah, something like that.
What was it?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Just to give you an idea, I played it today, and I just beat that, like, mid boss in the cathedral.
Oh, the big knight, yeah.
Yeah, the big knight. I just beat him, and I unlocked
big guy.
I unlocked the shortcut.
To back to the Firelink Shrine.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, 2 things. This is an aside. Well, no, 1 thing, which is an aside. But did you get what he was guarding? The Firekeeper soul.
Yeah, I don't know what you do with that yet.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Do not use it. What you do is in Firelink Shrine. Have you met the Firekeeper, the woman who doesn't talk?
No.
She's easy to find. At Firelink Shrine, like right around the bonfire, there are some stairs leading down, like a spiral staircase. Go down, and you'll see a woman behind bars who cannot speak. She is a Firekeeper. There are 4 or 5 Firekeepers in the game. Do not kill them, because then their fire will go out, and you cannot use it as a bonfire. But... some of them talk to you. This one doesn't. But if you go to a Firekeeper and you have a Firekeeper soul on you, there's going to be an option. Reinforce Estus Flask. Do that. So your Estus Flask will turn into Estus Flask +1. So when you take an Estus, it'll heal you more
than
it otherwise. Yeah. So you can go up to +7, which is impossible in a first playthrough. But you can do up to like +5 or 6. It's fine. That's all you need. Anyway, what I was going to say about Dark Souls is... there are 2, like, decaying dragons that are, like, hanging over a cliff's face and, like, crawl at you. They don't really have much of a lower half. But in the Painted World of Ariamis, he does have a lower half. He just leaves it behind. His legs are just, like, on the bridge.
Wow.
Like, lying there useless. And this guy crawls at you. When you kill that dragon, if you go up to the legs, I think I thought that you could hit them and knock them off the bridge or something. It would look kind of cool. It turns out you can't. But I told Luminaire to give it a shot, and he did a jump attack, which is, I think, when you press toward and then like one of the if you're playing on a PS4, like a shoulder button and attack, so you just do like a leap attack. He did that, and the legs just stood up. Like they didn't attack or anything,
but they were aware.
They just stood up and scared the shit out of us. Yeah,
I know this kind of bug. I think in Europe too there was a little bug. If you jib destroy an enemy with a jibbing animation, and if you shoot the remains with an explosive projectile, like the parts suddenly jump together in the position that would be the monster.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Like there are actually these dragon leg like enemies toward the end of the game. They're really fucking big, and if you see them, like you don't have to fight any of them, but like God help you if they run after you. So when these legs stand up, they look like one of those, and they even like do their idle, like an enemy's not moving and breathing, the legs are moving a little bit but just standing perfectly still. But it scared the hell out of us when I saw Luminaire do it, and it turns out you can reproduce that glitch on I think any version of Dark Souls. I don't know why, but I'm kind of amused that they left it in there.
Wow.
I think one of my few. I think I never in my games I rarely encounter with funny bugs. I encounter some, like in Axiom Verge. I managed to climb up to a spot where I'm not supposed to be. But aside from that, I don't think I.
Oh yeah, that kind of reminds me. Yeah.
That in Planetary Annihilation Titans, I made like when making maps, I made a level that accidentally like. The planet was too close to the asteroid belt, so the asteroids constantly just floated through to my planet.
No, actually, what you were saying about going too high, I don't know if... I assume this is a glitch that people just kind of say might not be, but in Shadow of the Colossus, you can actually, if you have like supremely high climb ability, you can actually make your way to the top of that tower you start in, which is excruciatingly difficult. But if you're up there... you can find some, I think it's fruits, that instead of raising your maximum health, actually lower your maximum health. I don't know if that's like a wink from the developers or if that's actually a glitch or something, but it's kind of interesting that it's there.
I think it's kind of a punishment. What are you doing here, you dolt?
That could be. Like, I mean, Amnesia has something like that, where if you stack like 1,000,000 boxes and climb all the way up, it took you way too much effort to do that, and you go through some hole in the ceiling, you see a sign that says like, hello, like in Swedish, and it's like, oh, okay, yes, thanks.
Amiibo have, I think, something like that. But there is a like text somewhere in the wall. Like if you go up there, like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, Duke Nukem 3D had that. Like, you should not be here. Signed, like the level lord. And it's like, oh, okay.
I love falling through the floor in like an infinite hell space. I love doing that. It's always funny to me.
It's a sign of bad design, not fun. Anyway, I wanted to say that I've been an avid consumer of Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor videos, and sometimes like the game plays completely straight, and the funny things comes from what's meant to be funny. But sometimes the game glitches out in unpredictable moments, and there was like moment like the guy cleaved the orc in half. Mm-hmm. Like you like in Shadow of War, there is a new mechanic that you can be rescued by allies, and one of the guys like the orc knocked the guy down. One of the guys came in help, cut the orc in half, and basically did this was like, come on, I'll help you out thing. And for some reason, the orc top half suddenly went up and stood up and floated into the air.
Nice.
For some reason,
I really want to play those games. They look great.
It's fantastic. Like if the best way is just to get all the abilities and just faff around with the orcs all day. It's absolutely fantastic.
That's pretty good.
One of the things that constantly recurs is the suicidal orc syndrome. And sometimes the orcs just fall down you're just walking down the road and suddenly just an orc just falls down in front of you for no good reason.
That's pretty good.
That's
actually.
like the nemesis system, right? Like
yes.
I've heard that it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Orcs remember you, and like basically anytime you make a you die, but like they kill you or they complete some sort of mission, they level up as well.
Wow.
So it keeps you on the edge, and it's fantastic when they actually remember what kind of deed you did. Like if you in Shadow of War, for example, you actually if you kill someone with poison, they come back like bloated, with half melted, like that's all hot, like it is monstrous form.
Yeah, it's pretty cool actually. They have like scars.
Yeah, like like one of the guys was called Survivor and had like a half a hatchet in his head.
Mm.
Well, I think we explored that topic pretty well too. So I think that'll bring our show to a closing this week. We wanted to thank our fans that contributed questions this week. Please keep us supplied with awesome topics by submitting your questions of your own to the YouTube and SoundCloud pages. That's the new Corrective Consciousness YouTube page. And I should say, continue to react to the fan questions and also our topics. I love hearing this, and we will continue to read your responses here. So please give us thumbs ups, likes, and 5-star ratings on iTunes, and also please share links to the podcast. I wouldn't thank everybody enough if I saw people sharing a podcast that they liked, such as ours, on their YouTube and their Twitter and their Facebook. I would love to see that. This would help us promote and spread awareness of the show, and any bit of encouragement will keep the show going. So you can catch us on Tuesdays on our sister podcast, Reactive Consciousness, the last one on Lotus's channel. The in-depth look at this week in our lives. Finally, you can friend me as vysethebold on Steam, PSN, Xbox Live, Twitter, Switch, and Battle.net.
What was that one? No, fuck it. Don't even start. Yeah, Twitch. That's the one. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, you can follow me on my YouTube channel, Lotus Prince. You can hit me up on Twitter at Lotus Prince. And finally, if you are interested in seeing my videos early, getting in on exclusive live streams, I'm currently doing Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons for patrons, and I'll be starting something different for everyone else. Or even select upcoming games for me to Let's Play. And every patron tier has the ability to join a Discord where you can talk to me and other patrons. Consider swinging by my Patreon account, which can be found at patreon.com/lotusprince.
Actually, during this recording, Patreon just told me that they had charged me for this month. Can you issue me a refund? I don't think I'm getting enough out of it.
Oh yeah, that'll be $10,000, was it? Yeah. I'll send it via money order via I forgot what the company's called.
CODs.
Yeah.
What is it? Western Union?
Yes. I'll send it via Western Union. I'm writing a check. What's your last name? Cash. Make it out to Cash. Like in the producers.
I am Nigerian Lotus Prince.
Hey!
Show me the way.
That's Uganda, not Nigeria.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, jeez.
I'm sorry.
Disgraceful.
All right, and Dracologist, plug yourself.
You
here.
can find you can find me on Skype, Discord, and Steam, and this is it really.
But you should get more.
You should take longer with your outro.
All right, we'll catch you on Tuesday, everyone.
Until next time, everyone.
Good evening.
What's good about it?
The fact that I can go to bed.